Now I want to go to what we call this software or system development lifecycle. This is very, very important. So we have agreed our scope. We have embarked on this project. We now want to sort of progress the delivery. In IT terms, the SDLC, which is called software or system development lifecycle or application development lifecycle, is a process for creating, testing, and developing information systems or applications. Now, you will say, why is this just focused on IT? Because if you were going to start a career in project management, the first area I can almost guarantee, if we had 10 people start a career in project management, 7 of them or 8 will be in tech. Other sectors have projects. Even in those other sectors, oil and gas, you'll probably be working in their IT. I've just been asked to pick up a program of work that has 4 projects for the manufacturing arm of the organization I work with to really cater for their digital and IT compliance requirements. So he has 4 projects, and my aim is to make sure the minimum standards they must operate to is sort of achieved. And that's what the terms of reference for that project would be. So basically what I'm trying to set out for you guys is that tech allows you to sort of have a good grasp of project management. Project management from a tech perspective just gives you that good orientation for project management. So let's look at the project lifecycle, the software or system development lifecycle, or what we call the application development lifecycle. Okay. It's different from the project lifecycle, but it is made up typically of 5 stages as well. The analysis is to really look at what we call requirements. You know, when the business says we want to deliver a particular system or a solution or a service, you want to be clear what their requirements would be. What are the needs you have in this business? So as part of this, you have a role type called a business analyst does the work of requirement elicitation and gathering, and would stitch together on behalf of the sponsor or the business lead what we call a business requirements document. That requirement documentation will be made up of your functional requirements, your non-functional requirements, really catering for what that system or service must do for this business. You want to document that. It's like you want to build a house. You want to be clear what the need your client has before you progress to design. Okay, so once you are clear around the requirements, all of those requirements you then translate into whole deliverables that will make up this mechanism or whole system. And then once you understand them, you will document what we call design. Again, for the design aspects, just like you have in buildings, you have architects. Let me announce to you in IT also, we have architects. We have solutions architect that will help you solution that particular system. We have enterprise architect that look at architecture from an enterprise perspective. We have infrastructure architects that look at how hardware components interact and stitch together to support the business. So you have different types of architectural functions working together sometimes to sort of stitch together your architectural documents. Sometimes it may just be a single person called a solutions architect. And what they're going to be doing is all these requirements, I want to make sure they are provided for in a design documentation. And then once you have your design finalized, just like you would do with a house, the moment you have your architectural drawings, you are now able to embark on the development or the build. And that's why in the software development lifecycle, you notice that after your analysis, gathering the requirements, you will design, you develop, and you will build. Once you have built and developed, you will then test. This testing caters for quality assurance. There are different types of tests, and there are different types of test roles and skills. You can have manual testing, you can have automated testing. There are different aspects to it. But guess what? Today, you will not get all of it. But what will happen is that we're laying the foundation upon which you can build to sort of help you learn and understand all these aspects. And I hope it's making sense. Are you all getting me, or am I confusing things? If you're getting me, let me know, because it's so important that you do. So what then happens is, I'm hoping you are, okay? What then happens is that once you have completed your quality assurance activities and tested, and with the final stage being a user acceptance test. The people that will consume that service or product will need to user acceptance test it. Once they have signed it off, and the product owner or the sponsor is happy, or the business lead, depending on the area or section in the business you are delivering this system or service, the users in that area are happy, what will then happen is you are able to go live with that system and deploy it. Once you deploy it, it is deployed into operations. Remember, we talked about business as usual. We talked about operations being different from projects. So you deploy into your business as usual environment, and basically what then follows is the maintenance of that system or service. You operate it, you maintain it, you use it, you derive the benefits for that particular system or service. I hope all of this is making sense. When you join our Ostratech YouTube channel, you see resources that will cater for some of these. We're already working on projects to create a lot of resources to help people understand all these aspects. But go there, like, subscribe. Please do, please. I'm going to request it. And look for the Project Lifecycle one for a start. It's a good resource for you to understand some of the aspects that we've been talking about. Now, interesting. Project management methodologies. I just hope I'm not boring you. I hope I'm not boring you. And at this point, very soon, I'm going to be introducing someone who will talk to us. So when we look at project management methodologies and frameworks, there are some of you would have heard of the concept of methodologies. We'll talk about it and deep dive, at least address it the best we can as part of this session. There are a number of methodologies. The more common ones will include waterfall method. We have the agile method, and we have lean project management methods. Everything else just sort of stems from these three, okay, regardless of how you look at them, okay? The waterfall, let's sort of look at it, is a sequential stage-gated methodology. Basically, with waterfall, which is this one, what you do is from the onset, you plan out what you are going to do based on a sequence of activities, outlined step-by-step sequence of activities, which suggests that until you have completed every step, you don't have your project delivered or the product accepted. You will plan it out from the very get-go, and you keep improving that plan as you go, but you are required to deliver all the requirements, what you are set out to do in design, and then you implement, you verify, in other words, carry out a quality assurance, you deploy into operational environment and maintain. That is what waterfall is saying, okay? The thing with it is that because it's quite rigid, it takes a long time to deliver a service or product. You're talking 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 18 months for a lot of waterfall projects, some of them even up to 2 years. But agile is different. Agile is iterative development methodology, basically, or iterative project management methodology. What agile looks to do is always look for opportunities to be flexible with your scope and deliver in small chunks, small manageable chunks, small manageable iteration. Depending on the framework, which we'll talk about shortly, that you're applying in agile, it could be called sprints, it could be called time boxes, it could be called increments. There are different kinds of agile frameworks. But the key principle that governs the agile thinking is one that suggests we're going to be flexible, we're going to be collaborative, we're going to be looking to deliver a product early or a service early without that extended, rigid, sequential process that says until we deliver all the deliverables we set out to, we don't have a finished product as you have in waterfall. So it is quick and responsive methodology. It is flexible, and it will always look to deliver to time, to cost. And what it always does is gets flexible around the scope and the quality without compromising it. Now, the lean project management methodology just as a guiding principle that suggests we want to eradicate waste in project management. Basically, we keep the delivery process as lean and tight as possible, removing anything that is not adding value. Anything that could lead to waste, we want to remove it. And that's what we do with lean project management. So When it comes to project management methodologies, then we have, in addition to these three that we've just talked about, the agile and the lean methodologies would always have light touch frameworks for applying them, using processes, using procedures, using various tools to apply the agile principles. There are different types of agile, for example, frameworks. For example, you have Scrum, you have extreme programming, you have the Scrum Band, which is a hybrid method, etc., etc. Okay, and then under the lean project management, you have the Kanban method, the Kanban framework, not method, but let's call it a framework. Okay, it stems from the lean thinking, and the lean thinking stems from a manufacturing practice, which originated from Toyota in Japan. Right. So one of the things I want to do as part of this process is talk about a methodology that we use in the UK. But the key thing I want you to remember is that we say methodologies are a set of techniques or principles applied for delivering projects. If you deliver and work to them correctly, chances are your project will be successful. Project managers, team managers will work collaboratively to this set of techniques and principles for success. And chances are you will be successful. Okay. And then we are saying the framework typically found under agile and lean thinking will be processes, procedures, and tools founded on the principles instructed by methodologies. And I hope it's making sense. With waterfall, it's just a rigid framework. It's the rigid methodology that won't have a lot of frameworks associated with it. And that's the way I sort of look at it.